And we welcome you back to the 2024 Sooner Athletic Conference Virtual Football Media Day. I'm Jim Powers, Assistant Commissioner of the Sooner Athletic Conference. And we're going to head back down to Texas, and we're going to visit with new head coach over at Texas Wesleyan, Brad Sherrod. And coach, an 8-2 season last year, part of the three-team tie for the conference championship. But your first year, talk a little bit about the transition into the head coaching spot and kind of, work through what you've been able to do to get your guys ready and to start putting your program in to the program.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a good transition. I wasn't here for spring. I got hired in mid-May. So it's really been a work in progress. So the first chance I had to meet our players is in the summer, in our summer workout program. So we've been playing on defense, at least we've been playing catch up. Offensively, they continue to do the things they've done here in the last 2 years with Coach Johnson, and it's been good to see those guys that just kind of stayed on track and doing what they're doing. But defensively, we've done some things different on defense when it comes to scheme and just really terminology more than anything. Trying to get to play catch up there. So those 6 weeks were really big for us to do that and to have those guys here and to be able to install that. So now we're going to reinstall it again and have a chance to hear it again for a second or third time as we get ready for the season. But the transition's been good. Just trying to really meet my players and learn them and talk to them, and so they'll at least know who I am and what I'm about. And I'm trying to learn who they are as a person and their personalities. And so it's been good that way. And also as a staff, it's been good for us to work together as a staff and kind of get a feel for each other and what my expectations are from them and what they should expect from me. And I believe we're going to work well together. That's the thing that I've always enjoyed is a staff working well together and not just being the head coach. We're all working together, trying to get the same thing accomplished. I have to make the decisions and they give me their opinions and I want their opinions. But at the end of the day, I have to make the decisions. But I really want them to understand that we are working together in this thing as a staff.
How important was it for you to keep some continuity, especially offensively, with Coach Johnson and keeping that going to make that transition a little bit easier for you, especially on the offensive side?
Well, what was really important to me during the transition, it wasn't so much continuity. It was like making sure the coaches that I retain, that our philosophy aligned together. Yeah. And it's all about players first. And Coach Johnson, at least the first day I got the job and I got off the job, I called him and we talked, and I could at least hear through the phone as we talked and the conversations that we had that it was important. The players were important to him. And I wanted that in my offense coordinator. There were some things that they were already doing that kind of matched my idea of what an offense should be. I'm not calling plays, but there's things I wanted to see that he was already doing. And plus, they were scoring a bunch of points last year. So I wanted to keep that try. I'm a defensive guy, and I love when the offense scores. So that's great, right? It's easy to call a game when the offense is scoring points. But it was important for me to keep just to make sure that our philosophy and our ideas of how kids should be treated and aligned. And I relied on him heavily for the offensive staff. I want to make sure that he was happy with his staff, and he was. And I think we got some really talented guys on offense that's really doing a great job with recruiting and coaching their kids and being detailed, and those things are important to me. So once I realized those guys, just working with them, that they are that and they do those things that we ask. Defensively, I kept one guy on defense that does a great job with our on-campus work and also does a great job with his student athletes. So it's been good to have those guys here and challenging. It's made the transition easier for sure.
Schedule for you. You open up with John Melvin in week 1. Then you get thrown right into the fire with one of the teams that you guys were tied with in that 3-way tie with Ottawa. Talk a little bit about the schedule and how it sets up, especially with the early part of your schedule, as tough as it could be.
Well, I think you're looking at an older schedule.
I am. I'm sorry.
Start out with
let me go back to that. Let me rephrase that question. Lindsey Wilson to start things off, which is always a traditionally good program, but then you get Ottawa in week number 2.
Right. Yeah. It's going to be a big test for us. They're a nationally ranked team. They've played on the national level, playing Lindsey Wilson. We're playing at home, thankfully, but it's going to be a big test for us. And I told my guys that I like they're going to test us, and we're going to see where we are. If we want to talk, we're talking about playing on a national level. Well, here it is, and we're going to have to play and execute at a high level. We're going to have to learn how to be a physical football team if we want to play at that level. And so they're going to set the tone and let us know where we are and what we need to do to get there. I'm really encouraged by my team and how they practice in the summer. I'm really encouraged on how they've shown up for preseason so far. We haven't had our first practice yet, but just being on time, doing the things we ask them to do, being in shape, looking different, gaining some weight. Those things matter to me, that they've at least taken this thing serious going into the summer and things that we asked them to get done. So it'll be a big test for us. And then, of course, Ottawa, we don't have any easy games in the first 2 weeks at all. Then we go to Ottawa and we play those guys. So once again, I think they've been picked to win the conference. And once again, we're gonna have to show up and play every weekend. So to me, it's about just taking it one game at a time, how we show up, how we play the game, tackle, catch the ball, secure the football, things that they run the football, things that we need to do to win a football game. And we just need to really focus on those things and focus on ourselves. It's like, we know who we're playing, but focus on how we play the game. And if we do that, I think we'll be okay.
Offensively, you mentioned one of your offense scored a lot of points last year. A lot of those guys coming back. Talk a little bit about some of the guys that we're going to see offensively, and especially some of those guys on the outside that can absolutely burn down the field to make big plays for you.
Well, we have, Carson Rogers, having him back as our quarterback helps. That's always the main piece. To me, I think that's one of the most important piece outside the offensive line. You got to have that guy, and we do. We have a guy back there with some experience that can manage the offense, that can throw the ball and do things that we need him to do. And then, of course, you have, Ernest Caesar that's running the football for us. We really need to try to get the ball in his hands, and all our playmakers' hands. We need to try to get the ball. We're definitely going to get the ball in his hands, get the ball in AJ Bob's hand as well, and get the ball to him. So it's important that we do those things, and I think try to get those guys to have a chance to be successful. It's always about getting the ball in your playmakers' hands and letting them create and do the things. But it's all going to start up front for us. Our offensive line. Anywhere you go, if you can't protect or you can't run the football, it doesn't matter. You can have a great quarterback, but if you can't have time to throw the football, it doesn't matter. If you have a great running back, which we do, it doesn't matter. You can't run the football. So it's going to start up front. We lost a lot of guys from last year up front, but I was really encouraged with the guys that are here this summer. I think we got 3 or 4 guys that are really athletic. We're adding some pieces to it that can really help us up front, and might not have all the experience that we had last year, but we have some experience, and I think we're going to be really good there. I think we're going to be fine there. I think we're going to really hone in on those guys of being a physical front and doing the things we need them to do up front. So I'm encouraged with those guys and what we did this summer.
You talk about your quarterback, and he had a terrific year last year. How important is it having a guy out there that knows the system and can be an extension of you and Coach Johnson out on the field to make sure everybody's in the right spot? You're checking out into a good position to put those guys in a good position, and having a veteran quarterback, that's got to be huge for you.
It is, and he's been a great leader this summer. He really has, and I just like taking control of the team meeting, the breaks, the making sure guys do what they're supposed to do. To me, it's that leadership quality that you need in a quarterback. Because he's just an extension of Coach Johnson and myself, especially with Coach Johnson calling the plays. He's an extension of Coach Johnson out there, but he's also an extension of me on what my expectations are for us to run the offense and holding kids accountable and doing the things that we need to do, because he understands those little things that you do will allow us to do bigger things. And he's been great at that, of just showing that leadership quality for us. And I'm thankful to have him on our team, because, just having a quarterback is like trying to find that guy. And we have that guy. And more importantly, he's really helping with those younger quarterbacks and getting them ready to go. Because he understands, it's a long season, and we're going to do a great job protecting him and making sure he's ready. But if we need one of those guys to step in, he's trying to help prepare them to do that. And to me, I think that's another sign of a great leader, of preparing the guys behind you to lead and do the things you need them to do. So
You're a defensive guy. What kind of things will we see on the defensive side of the football? Who are some of the guys that we're going to hear a lot about of this year? Because I know there are some veterans coming back from that team last year.
Well, there are. You got Sir Hill, you got Arian Bott, you have Daniel Nole, you have gosh, Dalen Rogers. We got some kids back there on the back end that are coming on, that are doing some good things for us. The main thing I ask my guys to do is to make sure that, like, when we turn on that film on Sunday, is that we played hard, right, and we tackled. That we're a physical football team. The mistakes we can take care of. One thing you can't coach is effort. So I want to make sure that we're playing with great effort and that we're tackling and pursuing that football. And those are the things I think make a difference. That's a difference for a defense. And I don't believe we're going to give up long balls or anything like that. But our philosophy is to stop the run. We're going to stop the run, and we're going to be a physical football team. And that's what I talked to him about. I want to make sure that we're doing that. So we have some returners on defense that have shown up in practice, and I think we got some new guys that have probably they didn't play as much last year, but now they're going to get the opportunity this year because they're doing some great things of learning and moving, and their movement skills are good. So I think we're going to find spots for those guys, and we're going to try to play as many guys on defense as we can. I just think that's important. The more guys that can play, the better. So I'm really excited about this group of guys that we have. I think the D-line is our strength. And I think from there on, I think our back end is strong as well, as long as our linebackers. They're doing a great job this summer.
Coach, one thing I'm talking to all of our coaches in the conference about is how good our conference is football wise. And I think we're one of the top conferences in the nation when you have three teams battle to a three-way tie for the conference championship last year. You have a team make it into the tournament. I mean, the Sooner can stack up against anybody in the country. And I honestly believe that.
Yeah, it's a very competitive league. And I'm really encouraged with it. I think that there's no weekend off. Like I said, there really isn't. You better bring your A game or you're going to get beat. And we need to make sure that we're doing that every weekend. Just to start off with Ottawa and then, to go through the rest of the schedule. And which I haven't really, I've watched every team that we're going to play. I might not know the exact order, but there's good teams in this league. And it's going to be a challenge for us here every week to make sure that we're ready, that our kids are doing the things they need to do to prepare to be on top of what we're supposed to be doing. So I'm encouraged, but it's a good league. And I just continue to keep, weekend. I think it'll prepare us to do greater things outside of this league if we can do what we're supposed to do and get to the national playoffs, which is our goal. But it's only going to happen if we play it one game at a time and do the things that we're supposed to do. And it's going to start with Lindsey Wilson, and then it's going to be in Arizona from there. And like every week, we're going to have to come and be ready to play. And the team that can handle that success and do those things or handle any setbacks are going to be the teams that move on and do some good stuff.
Awesome, Coach. Well, I appreciate the time. I know the busy time of the year is going to be coming up here shortly, but it's going to be a lot of fun watching the Rams this year, and can't wait to see what you guys are able to do. And I know we'll be talking throughout the season.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward to it. And I look forward to meeting you in person. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Head coach from Texas Wesleyan, Brad Sherrod, joins us here on our 2024 Sooner Athletic Conference Football Virtual Media Day. We'll be back in a little bit with another one of our great coaches from another one of our outstanding schools here in the SAC.
Thank you.